गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुस्साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. Okay. Does it catch? Because I forgot. Before just now I put it. So we have done the Mangalacharana shloka. Let us continue. Translation checking or I have to do? Sixth chapter? Okay.
Exercise.
Sixth chapter, Dvitiya Vibhakti of Akaranta, Pullinga and Napunsakalinga. These two words we have to do. Now come on, read out. And then, if you read, you will get a practice of reading it, and I know your pronunciation and spelling mistakes I can correct. Otherwise I can read, but you should read better.
Ishwaram Janaha Pujayati. People adores God.
No, see, Janaha, when he told, this is one thing. Janaha is a collective word. Janaha is a word singular, but meaning is people. When you say people adores, if you say people is a plural in English, see, Jana is a singular. But the meaning is, it can be a one person, it can be many people. Jana can be a person, or it can be people. Because the word is singular, but the meaning is plural. People as a group of people. People means a group of people. So you have to say either a group of people adores, then the singular goes. Otherwise a person adores. Janaha, a person, or a group of people. A group of means, again it looks like that a small group ansuttade. I think better a person alone is better. A person is in a collective sense. When you say a person means in general anybody. Anybody means all people, it means. It means all people. So Janaha. But otherwise when you are translating, if you are taking directly some English sentence, then people worship, it is easy. But you can't say people and worship and singular. People adores andre hondala. People adore helabeku. If you say people adore, then the verb is singular. So literal translation won't suit, but you have to. If literal translation, a person worships or adores, then if you take it a simple meaning alone, people worship. People adore. People adore Ishvara. I think we can call Ishvara is Ishvara alone. Calling God is only Western word. We need not to call it Ishvara only directly. Okay.
Nrupaha Shatan Dandayati.
Shatan. Nrupaha Shatan Dandayati.
The king punishes the rogues.
Rogues. Who is a rogue? Mischievous. A wrong person, mischievous person, illegal person. Means some kind of crimes who commits is just a rogue. Okay. But the rogue is not that bad word. Rogue and rascal are simply says a cheat, a bad person, means a few bad qualities. It's not that wicked, totally wicked. A normal person having a few weaknesses, having a little more mistakes. That's what it means. Okay. Next. Shatan Dandayati, that you have understood. What did you say, translation?
The king punishes.
A king. The king, okay.
The king punishes the rogues.
Punishes the rogues. Shatan is a Bahuvachana. Dvitiya Bahuvachana. Dandayati punishes.
Ramoshvam Arohati.
This is the thing. Split it.
Ramaha Ashwam Arohati.
Two sandhis are here. We have already told. Ramaha Ashwam. The first sandhi is Rama. Visarga changes to U becomes O. Guna sandhi. Ramo Ashwam. But Ramo Ashwam I told. But here this Akara joining into it I already told, but it is coming here. So Ramo Shva. Joins into it and Avagraha is put there. Ramo Shva. Ashwam Arohati. Ashwam Arohati. Here no sandhi, simply joining the letters. Ashwam, this is a consonant. A is a vowel. You just join them, that's all. There is no sandhi.
Ramoshvam Arohati. Rama ascends the horse. He uses Arohati ascends. Rama mounts.
Mounts only. I think mounts are better. Don't say ascend. Though he used ascends. See, mounting a horse, mounting an elephant, mounting a these things you can say. But ascending a staircase, that's a different. So here, ascending, he told in general, not accurate that word, but mounting is better. So Rama mounts a horse. Okay.
Vyagro mamsamatti. Vyagraha mamsam atti.
Correct.
Tiger eats flesh.
Mamsam is Napunsakalinga. Mamsam, mamse, mamsani. Here, mamsam is a Napunsakalinga. Therefore, whether it is Prathama Vibhakti, Dvitiya Vibhakti, form is same. Here, mamsam, is it Dvitiya Vibhakti or Prathama Vibhakti? Seeing the sentence tell in the context of the sentence. It is Dvitiya Vibhakti. But the correct. The same form is a Prathama also. But in this sentence, it is Dvitiya. Because the subject is Vyagraha. Vyagra is the eater. What is eaten is mamsam. Therefore, is an object of eating. Okay, correct.
Harir hastau kshalayati. Harihi hastau kshalayati.
So Visarga became Ra. Because previous is E. So Harir hastau kshalayati. Harihi hastau.
Hari washes his 2 hands.
His 2 hands. So hastau is Dvitiya Vibhakti. So in Vivachana, hastau is a form of both Prathama Vibhakti as well as Dvitiya Vibhakti. But in this sentence, it is used Dvitiya Vibhakti. Dvitiya Vibhakti is used because he is washing the hands. Okay. Kshalayati we have already studied. Kshal kshalayati. Shaucha karmani. Okay.
Yodhaha sharan kshipati.
Correct. Sharan banan. Banan he is not taught, but we can learn. Yodaha sharan kshipati.
The warrior throws arrows.
So a warrior throws arrows. Correct. Kshipati means discharges. Throws or discharges. It can be anything. Throws arrows or discharges arrows from a what you call bow. From the bow he leaves them. He discharges them, leaves them, or throws them. Throwing. Okay. Throwing is a general word. Munchati also you can say. Sharan munchati. He leaves the bana. Discharges. Okay.
Dhanam lubhyati. He covets the wealth.
Correct. See, dhanam is a Dvitiya Vibhakti. There is no subject. If you take dhanam lubhyati, it doesn't suit. Wealth doesn't covet. Now here, lubhyati is a verb of which subject is not given. Dhanam can't be subject. You have to assume the subject independently. He or she covets wealth. So dhanam is a Dvitiya Ekavachana. This is good. Many people made mistakes here. He or she covets wealth. So dhanam is a Dvitiya. You have to take Dvitiya Vibhakti and subject has to be assumed, some imagined with the help of the verb. Correct. You have done very correct, perfectly correct. He covets or she covets wealth.
Steno dhanyam chorayati. Stenaha dhanyam chorayati.
Correct.
A thief steals the corn.
Correct. Corn is a normal corn. So a thief steals. Chorayati. Chorayati we have learnt before. Stena is a thief. Chorayati is thieves, steals. Correct.
Nagaram gacchami.
Gacchami.
Here also assume that I go to the town.
Correct.
Gacchami, I go. Papam was
Here, when you go, it is already starting. I think we should tell later. When you go to some place, the place will be in Dvitiya Vibhakti, or it can be Fourth Vibhakti also. Fourth we have not yet studied. Again, I'll remind you. When you are going to a place, that place should be used in Dvitiya Vibhakti. So that is a usage of certain vibhaktis and certain meanings alone. That's called idiomatic usages.
Okay.
So gamanam governs. He uses the word. The motion implies Dvitiya. It governs a Dvitiya Vibhakti. You are going to. Nagaram means object of going. Nagaram means an object. Nagaram is Prathama Vibhakti, Dvitiya Vibhakti. Nagaram Pashyati means he sees the Nagara. But when you say Nagaram Gacchati means, he goes Nagaram, how do you say? Goes Nagaram Allah, goes to. That to is implied here. That's why he's talking Tritiya Vibhakti, goes to.
ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ ಈಗ ಕನ್ನಡಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾಡೋದಾದ್ರೆ ನಗರಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ.
ಅದೇ ದಟ್ಸ್ ಐಮ್ ಟೆಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಅಟು ನಗರಕ್ಕೆ. ಎಸ್ ನಗರಕ್ಕೆ.
ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಇನ್ ಕನ್ನಡ ನಗರಕ್ಕೆ ಬಿಕಮ್ಸ್ ಫೋರ್ತ್ ವಿಭಕ್ತಿ.
But here you have to use
ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್.
True. So this Vibhakti Beda, when one language to another language, one should note it. One should see the contrast. Generally some ಹೊಂದುತ್ತದೆ, some places they are different. So adu we have to watch that.
If you make direct second vibhakti translation, ನಗರವನ್ನು ಹೋಗುತ್ತೇನೆ ಅಂತ
ಆಗುತ್ತದೆ. ನಗರವನ್ನು ಹೋಗುತ್ತೇನೆ. Some people, orthodox people in Telugu, even now they do it. Some expression they do it. So since in Sanskrit it is like that, ತೆಲುಗುನಲ್ಲಿ ನಗರ ಕುರಿತು ಹೋಗುತ್ತೇನೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ. ನಗರಂಗೂರ್ಚಿ, ಅದು ಈಗಲೂ ಅದೇ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ನಗರಂಗೂರ್ಚಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಹೋಗುತ್ತದೆ. ಐ ಆಮ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದ ವಿಲೇಜ್, ಅಬೌಟ್ ದ ಟೌನ್ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಐ ಆಮ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ದ ಟೌನ್. To means that's my destination of my going is a kriya. So now here you see Vyakarana becomes a philosophy. Going is an action with an aim of a place, aiming certain place. That means going movement ends with that place. This is what we call, as I told you, we study grammar in 3 level. This is the philosophy. In philosophy level, what is a kriya? They ask what is kriya. Can you define? They define. They make Vyakarana into a philosophy. In India, philosophy generally means only Adhyatmika. Adhyatmika means what you call beyond Atita Tattva, Paramatma Tattva, Jagat and all. Worldly philosophy we don't discuss. In Western philosophy it's only world, what is ethics, what is this thing, what is water, what is this thing. They discuss worldly things, they call it philosophy. But such philosophy we find in Vyakarana and Tarka, not in Vedanta. Vedanta goes higher. Tarka Shastra discusses about certain things. See, Sahitya philosophy. Sahitya also there is a little bit of philosophical ideas, little deeper ideas. So in Vyakarana, Sahitya and Tarka, or even partly Mimamsa. So these ideas, certain deeper ideas in this area, we use this Laukika philosophy, worldly philosophy. And Western philosophy takes this alone as a philosophy. We don't consider the philosophy, we push it into worldly subjects. So Vyakarana discusses what is a kriya and what is an object. It discusses what is a subject and what is an object. Instruments means what is an instrument, you have to define. So regarding that, it discusses philosophy. Even Mahabhashya discusses partly, and then there are more books beyond Mahabhashya. They discuss more. It's an interesting, it is also worth reading. One can read one basic book. There are also advanced books. You may feel you may not be interested in advanced, but just a basic book of what is that? Some name I forgot. That book is interesting about karma, what is kriya, and what is all. It discusses nicely. It gives certain idea, conceptual idea. Very beautiful. Okay. So here Nagaram Gacchami means I go to. When you say to, Dvitiya Vibhakti. Okay.
Papam vadasi. You speak sin.
Sin can't be said. Papam you can say evil. You can say. You speak something evil. Punyam can mean when you do something you acquire punyam. But punyam can mean holy also. In Sanskrit, punyam means he is a punyatma. Punyatma means atma means mind. His mind is punyam, means he is a holy minded person, a noble minded person having a noble good feeling, sattvika feeling. Punya kshetram. A kshetram which is a noble and holy. So punya can mean holy. Punya can mean a result of dharma, a result of punya karma. Punyam is a result. So two ways. Similarly, papam. Papam can mean evil. Papam can mean a result of your wicked action. A result of an adharma. The phalam, the fruit of adharma is called papam, or something evil. Something not very noble, something not very good, is evil intention. When you can say papamatihi, papamati rajayata, he got something, papa buddhi. Papa buddhi means an evil intention. See here, evil, wicked, in that sense, papa we use it. But sin word, I think though he translates sin, but I feel sin has got a different concept, different idea, you know it. Sin is a virginal sin for them in English, in European language. And it is not committed. It was there by Adam disobeyed God and he incurred the sin. And that sin, that sin is what you call inherited by every parent, every generation. You inherit that Adam's sin, and thing is, the sin exists before you were born. Our sin doesn't exist before you are born. It is not inherited. It is committed by each person. You carry from your previous janma. That is okay. You carry punya and you carry papa from previous janma. But it is committed by an individual out of your free will. By abusing the free will, you commit it. You earn it by abusing the free will. But our papa, their sin is not earned by free will. You have no free will. You inherited it. You don't know. You have not committed, but you got it. Oh my God, what is this? Yes, God. You will be punished for it. What is this? Yes, you are punished. You must apologize and you must do this. But I have not committed. I don't know. I am innocent. Nothing works. You are a sinner. What is this? So it's an imposed. It's an imposed. In the name of inheritance, it is imposed. Then you are threatened and blackmailed. You must obey me. I am the only savior and you must obey me. Otherwise I'll send you to hell. So it is an imposed. That means a false, which is not committed by him, is imposed on him and is blackmailed and threatened. Threatened to do it, blackmailed, you must obey. So this looks like that. First thing is illogical. If you go by logical thinking, your intellect cannot accept because the concept is a very illogical concept. But if you go by the normal ethics, normal sense of justice, it looks very unjust that it is imposed upon you. You are threatened and blackmailed, you are supposed to follow. Isn't it? In terms of justice. In terms of intellectually, conceptually, it is illogical. Therefore, our papa is a committed one. So you can't translate papa as a sin or sin as a papa. Papa is committed by the free will. By abusing your free will, selfishly, out of your hatred, wickedness, you commit a thing. It is not inherited. If one commits to the papa, you don't get it. May get it rarely due to some special reason, merely small portion, this thing. That's an exceptional. But as a general rule, you only carry forward your own past papa. Second thing, just as when you abuse your free will, you get papa. By using the will, you get punya also. There is no punya for them. Papa is a contrast for punya. Papa, punya, they are the two you acquire. But for them, there is no papa. There is no punya. There is no punyam. There is only sin alone. There is only sin, but there is no positive one. What is the positive? No, there is only sinner. Everybody is sinner. There is no sin. So, this is the thing. So, for us, along with papa, there is a punya. And it comes from your previous generation. It is your own making. And here now, once you enjoy them, result of it is exhausted. You can remake. You can add up to your punya or papa. By continuing some good work, you can pile up. You can increase the pile of it. By enjoying, by prayaschitta, some of them you can reduce. This is our punya papa. You have a freedom. By learning the past, you can reduce your papa. You can increase your punya by using your free will properly. But there you have no will at all. You are already sinner. You have no will. And there you have to believe the Jesus, only Son. But how do you know that Jesus alone will save? That you have to believe. That you are a sinner, you have to believe. You have no way of knowing it. And then He is the only Son of God. How do you know? Somebody said it, you have to believe. If you don't believe, you will go to hell. Oh my God. But the belief could be wrong. That's all. You should believe. If you don't believe, I'll send you to hell. But how do we know that this belief is right? It's a belief alone. No question of logical convincing how He is this thing. You believe, otherwise you'll go to hell. We'll send you to hell. Supposing. Then if I should believe Jesus, then you have got the only one janma. And you have no second janma. You have no second chance. So, and if you supposing you don't know Jesus at all, what happens to such a person? There are some countries where they never knew that Jesus existed, and they have to believe Jesus or anything. They died it. They will go to hell only. You must have accepted Jesus, but I did not know. That's not sin. That's no excuse. You must be sent to hell only. So that means this is what looks a very dictatorial, very what you call whimsical God who created. That's why the European atheists are different from Indian atheists. European atheists accept because it is too illogical. It is too illogical. Indian atheists question because two types of atheists. Indian atheists are too selfish people. They don't want to believe God because believing God means dharma, punya, papa. Why should we care? Just they are too selfish. Some people little more intelligent, they don't believe because it is not logically provable. We also say it is not logically provable. But they say it is illogical. But illogical you can't prove. Our Indians only say God is existing or not, we don't know. We can't prove either way. We can prove neither God exists nor we can disprove that He doesn't exist. See, because it's not logically available, this much they say. But they say it is positively illogical. His concepts, his thoughts, his ideas are totally illogical. Illogical, dictatorial and too cruel. Illogical, dictatorial and cruel. His concept, his idea, his very thought of creation, his relationship with the world, the laws he made, everything is arbitrary, cruel and then indiscriminatory. Because for no reason I have not committed anything, you will be punished. And somebody believes even if he is the most wicked fellow, he will be liberated eternally. What is this? Just because he accepted, he joins your group of Christianity and you will become eternally heaven. And other fellows who are good and nice people, still he will be sent to eternal hell. So it is not only conceptually, intellectually illogical, but even justice-wise it is unjust. It demoralizes a person, isn't it? You have to accept him. If you don't accept, then they say you will send to hell. That means it is an emotional blackmail. You start accepting, then your moral sense, your ethical sense will suffer, isn't it? You will be just frightened. Oh, out of fear you have to accept it. If you don't accept it, you will be threatened. Why? Don't ask why. You have to accept it. That's why. Logical, illogical, don't question. That means you will become, set aside your moral sense, your ethical sense and blindly accept it. Your ethical sense also, ethical justice, sense of ethical justice suffers. Because you have to accept, otherwise frightened, it's only frightened. Therefore, their religion is fear-based. That's why these Europeans, they say religion is all fear-based. They criticize. They bring those ideas and start criticizing Hinduism. All religions are fear-based. But ours is not fear-based. Why do you say? We extend the worldly logic into a higher level. It is also logical. This Janma is there. It continues into the other world. Whatever you do, good and bad, the same thing comes to the next. So it is an extension of the present logical thinking. The same logical thinking, you extend it further, that becomes our religion. It's not based upon fear. That's why for them, for us it is a bhakti, Daiva bhakti. For them it is a God fear. We have no translation of God fearing. Do you have translation of God fearing? So God fearing we do. For them religion means fearing God. For us fearing God, why should you fear? You love God. Why fearing? Even if you don't love, doesn't matter. But there is no need to fear. They say fear God, fear God. Their books repeat, both the books repeat fear God.
Even in our education, some teachers teach Bhayave Bhaktiya Mula.
See, it's never there.
It's never like
Bhaya Bhaktiya Mula, there is nowhere there. It's nowhere there. See, we are bringing the that Christian, Islamic, Abrahamic ideas, they are getting translated. Getting translated and coming into India. First they did not come, now gradually, because these present day teachers are educated in these English medium schools. So they are no more of Islam and Christianity than Hinduism. They have understood Hinduism in the model of, in the categories of, in terms of Christianity and Islam. In terms of Islam and Christianity, they have understood Hinduism, they defined Hinduism. So they keep on using unconsciously, they keep on using the same words. It is getting used. It is coming again and again. But thing is, why? Indologists start defining what is religion. They see religion more as a social. They see religion does like this, religion does like... When they see, even Ambedkar talks of religion more as a social only. He never talked of any religious concept of God, heaven and etc., punya, papa. All these things he never saw. He took it to religion as a social issue. Purely as a social relationship, social economics, property, money, working, just like a social, like the Europeans, Christian religion. They take religion as a more a social. In fact, they define that way. And all his education is only European only. He never studied anything Hindu. He knows his understanding of Hinduism is less than zero. All is only European alone. That alone he imposes on us. Therefore, you can see him how he talks all nonsense. Because what he talks is nowhere there in Hinduism. He's only abusing, except abusing, there is nothing. That because his understanding is all from European alone. Therefore, I am telling this. So the concept of Papa Punya, Punya Papa So the difference should be there. Therefore, Papa should be translated as Papa. Don't translate it. Write in English script Papa. And Punya, write it Punya and Papa, Papa. That's all. Papa, Punya. That's the only way. Then you will have our own definition, our own concept of it. So Punya Papa is committed by a person, not inherited. See, it's a very strange thing. If Adam commits a sin and you inherit it because you are born in that generation, then if one fellow, that's why if one fellow commits, you inherit it. And one son comes, is a grandfather. Who is he? Adam. Father committed the sin, we inherited it, and a son comes and relieves you. He takes the sin on him, and then you are relieved. He says that I have paid for you. The payment for your sin is, the inherited sin is eternal hell, or death they call it, death and eternal hell. So I have suffered the death on your behalf, therefore you will not go to hell, and you accept me, you believe me. Now see, I have already paid on your behalf. It is something like you have borrowed the money. How? Your grandfather borrowed the money, therefore you have inherited the debt. You have inherited the debt because your great grandfather borrowed it, and I have paid it on your behalf. Now you must be my servant because I have paid it on. But the thing is, I never consciously borrowed. But how do you know you have paid it? I have paid it, I already told you. God accepts only payment of me only. God sent me as a only son only to pay on your behalf. I have already died, I paid it, now you must believe. Or my representatives, I left them on the earth, and you have to believe them. Otherwise, will send you to hell. After going to the hell, after the death is a different issue. Even while living, we'll give you, persecute you, torture you, everything you must accept. You must accept. Now this has given freedom to them to persecute societies and people. You must accept. God accepts only Jesus' ransom. Jesus' ransom alone God accepts. God sent His own Son and paid in order to pay the ransom on your behalf, and He has paid it. God accepts only Jesus, and He already paid it. Now you must accept Him. If you don't accept, we'll persecute you, torture you, and send you to hell. This is blackmail. You can't question. You can't expect it to be logical. We said it, you believe. If you don't believe, no question of logical thinking. Now what happened? Intellectually, once you start accepting, you kill your logical thinking. Then what happens? That logical thinking is gone. You start accepting many more illogical things. Once the mind gets used to accepting certain illogical things, then mind becomes illogical. Then ethically injustice is accepted morally, then you become double standard. Then ethics also you become injustice also you start accepting as just, because God said it, so no problem, you have to accept it. Emotionally also, even if it is cruel, you have to accept it. Then you start accepting. That's why God is cruel. Have you ever watched Muslims and Christians? Their concept of God is very cruel. Still they accept Him. Nobody ever questions it. Why? Because your mind is conditioned to accept even if He is cruel. You have to suppose it to accept. So emotionally you are supposed to accept. Intellectually kill your intellect, and then you kill your sense of morality, sense of justice. You have to accept it. Then thereafter you will be always double standard. You see them, these people of these two religions always follow double standard. Why? Because of that religion. There is no normal standard of justice anywhere. Always double standard. This is what is an uncivilizational religions. Uncivilized religion. Do you say? See, this is morally, psychologically, and then intellectually. They are uncivilized. Intellectually illogical, and then emotionally also false emotion, artificial emotion you create it, and also many things you are forcibly, like what you say, sex and other things, you force them and create sexual perversion. All Freud developed because of Judaism and Christianity. They made sex as a perversion. What is natural, they talk ulta. They talk negatively about it. Then therefore all sexual perversion. We didn't have sexual perversion as, another extreme is now you see extremely rebelling against Christianity, they indulge in oversex. The pornography comes because of Bible only. Bible banned it. and they become over it. They want to do by rebel, by vengeance it, we want to do that. God prohibited it, we will vengeance, we will do it. Now this is what it is. But thing is that sublimation, purity, all that they have no idea. So all this, now you see how much they have created psychology. They have created illogical. They have created a double standard. They have created double standard of justice. They created invasions, aggressions, invading countries, enslaving them, all this coming from this kind of theology. They don't feel guilty at all. They invade the countries for centuries together. They make them slaves, exploit them economically, everything they do. Psychologically, they study others' books. This Indological study. All universities they establish, study them, not to learn, either to misinterpret them, malign them, misinterpret them, or either malign them so to show that how they are wrong, or malign them or appropriate them. If there is any good point useful to them, good means useful to them, they appropriate it and then they deny you. Either to destroy or to malign or appropriate. Their whole, it made it a big industry. Universities, education has become a big industry. It is not only industry, it became a war, intellectual war. Universities founding, writing books, libraries, these are all intellectual wars to enslave the nations, countries and cultures and civilization. Destroy them, appropriate whatever is suited to you, or remaining is malign them. If you can't destroy them, malign them. Destroy, malign, appropriate. Okay? Destroy, a very few rarest person you find them appreciating our culture, civilization openly. Very few people. It's not a norm. It is not a mainstream. More in the periphery, exceptional things. A few people. But most of them, only these three. Now, all this is coming from this European Western culture of this Christianity, Islam, Judaism. They, however, they deny, reject Christianity, but they have no alternative. The same idea, slightly modified, they adopt. They modify and adapt the same. Even the feminism comes because the woman is a second thought of God. First God created Adam, second created from the rib, left rib or right rib of man. Therefore, two things is, she has to be subjugated to man because she is a product of man's rib. She is supposed to serve him. Second thing is, woman is responsible for the fall. Because it is she encouraged him to eat the prohibited fruit. Therefore, woman is responsible for fall. Because of these two theological things, it's a deep-seated hatred, inferiority complex of woman. Men also look down upon woman. Women also feel guilty that we are responsible. So once they are become educated, they felt very angry and they rebelled against it. As a rebelling, they told that feminism, we hate men. Now, that means the feminism is an extreme reaction against this thing. But in India, we have got many theologies. If one Purana says one thing, you can have another one. You can have another one. But they are not. You are not bound to act. There is only one theology and it is imposed one. If you don't want to believe Puranas, doesn't matter. We have got many philosophies. Many philosophies. If you don't believe, doesn't matter. But even if you take this thing, man and woman, like a dicotyledon, you call them that kadle. Dvidala. That Dvidala, out of this Dvidala, man and woman are born like Dvidala. Tell me who is first and who is later? You can't say. Because that simultaneously. Therefore, from Brahmadeva himself splits into man, woman, like a Manu Shatarupa. Manu Shatarupa, half is Manu, half is Shatarupa. Brahmadeva himself appears as a two. Not only the human couple, see our Brahmadeva. Brahmadeva is like a gene. It is a pool of genes of all animals. Our Purana says that Brahmadeva is a pool of genes. What genes? Of all animals. Couple of all animals. So from Manu Shatarupa is not a human couple alone. It is a couple of all living beings. All living beings. Therefore the same Manu Shatarupa, assume the couple of dogs, couple of horses, couple of donkey, couple of elephant, couple of tigers, couple of everything. From that alone, whole thing is born. So Brahmadeva is not a human gene. It is all animals, all plants. It is a combined gene of it. From that, see, this is our concept of Puranas. It looks very nice. People have to do more research in this angle. Thing is, they have got only one thing. Only Bible, otherwise nothing else. then either you have to accept it or you have to reject it. In biblical theology, same Judaistic theology came to Old Testament is accepted by Bible, and the same ideas are accepted by Quran also, isn't it? Therefore, either you have to accept their theology or rebel. There are only two. For us, you give an alternative theology, they don't have. We have got plenty. You give an alternative theology, you need not believe it. No imposition, no controlling. You have alternative theology and follow, doesn't matter. As long as it is convincing to you, it doesn't hurt your moral sense. No, it's not unjust, it is not illogical. If it is logically convincing, follow. But you see how our Brahmadeva is not a person. That's why we put Brahmadeva means they put a picture of Brahmadeva and we start humiliate. It's not a person. It is a common pool of genes all. And it is a conscious, not only the genes of physical, because human being is genes, that is a physical, and also mental. Mental means consciousness, knowledges and experiences. So Brahmadeva has got both physical body and mental body, that is a psychological. So he is a genes of both. In mind wise, at mind level, he is a what you call a combination of all experiences and knowledge. So, but physical level, he is a pool of genes of all living beings. From him, all things are emerging. Therefore, any new gene comes, it is only a manifestation, because that in a form of bija, it exists in him. Infinite bijas, infinite what you call, they only new combinations or new productions are only manifestation. That's why we say vyakta. And all these things will become avyakta at the end of the pralaya. Again, that means the main pool will not be created. It can be neither created nor destroyed. They say, first amoeba born from the inert object. From the inert amoeba comes, from amoeba plants, and plants and animals, and this thing, how the genes, all this is only artificial. That means from the inert, from the insentient thing, consciousness is developed. Then what is consciousness? Unable to define. If consciousness is produced from inert, then what is consciousness? You can't say anything. But for us, consciousness existed before, because self-existing consciousness. I think we have to do science in our this thing. Thing is, we just ignore. We call it as religion. First thing is, religion is a dogma, blind, illogical, foolish thinking. And we define what is religion based upon Islam and Christianity and Judaism. And bring that and start abusing Hinduism. Oh, religion is a dogma and blind belief. We'll set aside. How? Why? Why do you set aside? But it here meaningful thinking. We just set aside. So this is what we are borrowed thinking, borrowed science, borrowed fanaticism, borrowed foolishness. Foolishness also we have borrowed. Fanaticism also we have borrowed. Non-thinking also we have borrowed. Shamelessness also we have borrowed. Everything we have borrowed. Then why think our sins? Thing is, we are not supposed to study Hinduism. Oh, sakappa, munde hogu. So I can tell you many things, but Papa is enough with this Papa. So more and more comes. More and more other words come. See, as I told you, word means a concept, an idea. A concept or an object. Learning a language means learning certain ideas. Each idea have to be clear. So the Papa idea, unless you know otherwise Papa means you put another synonym. What is Papa? Papa is sin. That's all. What is sin? You bring all Christian meaning along. Therefore, Indian Papa is not an object which you come across daily like a vegetable or a fruit. What is Papa? You don't know. It's a concept. Religion explain. Then you have to explain and define all its dimensions, and you have to learn. When you learn a word, understand the concept. Not small aspect of it completely. If not, at least a larger one. Not completely means may not be, but at least little more details. Therefore, more and more words, whenever we come across a word, we'll explain the concepts also. Without concept, word is not completely understood. And particularly, our words are totally misconstrued, destroyed, misinterpreted by Indologists, and we also continue. I don't mean all. Indologists have misinterpreted largely. Some of them they have understood. But as I told you, three. Either destroy them, destroy the universities, burn the books, destroy the universities, destroy the scholars, or in the name of education, their purpose of education is your younger generation should reject your parents and go away from your culture. Your rishis, etc., hate them. Your acharyas, gurus, your Hindu gurus, your parents reject them and become a follower of Macaulay and then other people. Later you think that, oh, were the rishis so great? No, may not be. How can there be? How can they be so great? It may not be. It may be imagination. They just dismiss it. Because you live among the so fools that after some time, if you see a rishi with a more wise, is it so true? May not be true. Because you are brought up in such a way that you don't even believe that such a knowledge can exist, such a deeper thinking can exist. You see our Brahmadeva concept, the genes. Brahmadeva is not a physical alone. First thing, both conscious and when you are born, from Brahmadeva, Saptarishis are born. From Saptarishis, all the people are born. When you are born, you get to genes through body and also consciousness. Both come together. Mind also comes with them. You share a part of their mind. You share a part of genes. Both. Therefore, part of mind comes. But your mind is not evolved much. Therefore, human mind has got a what you call less. But Brahmadeva's mind is much more evolved. Therefore, consciousness is of high level. You also, but if you have shared that Brahmadeva's small portion of mind, by tapas you can evolve and you can become equal to Brahmadeva. You can become equal to Rishi. That's what is Shastra. See, the whole concept, you see how it is beautiful. You have a consciousness as well as a body, both go together. And part of it, with consciousness is, only thing is it is covered up. You can evolve. You can discover, you can understand and learn and all that. But have you inherited any consciousness from your God, according to them?
No.
First thing is there is no consciousness. There is no concept of Atma at all. The soul means either mind or means only breath. God made a human being out of mud and put soul into it. Soul means what? Only breath alone is called soul. Sometimes they call mind is soul. That's all. There is no consciousness. Okay, leave it. All these are theology we'll discuss later. In the Ram Sarup book we'll discuss there. There we'll discuss. But here also we need to learn little bit. This is okay. So Papa is a totally different concept of ours alone. It is a committed one. Committed means when you abuse your free will, follow some adharma, you get something. That papas are also different type. Each papa produces certain kind of disadvantage in you. Disadvantage means in bodily disadvantage, social area, economic area, or in external objects. Punyam also. Punyam is also various types. Punyam means it produces some kind of an advantage. Either you have a good and healthy body, strong body, or you get a good parentage, good family circle, good friend circle, or social support you get it, or you get a good money, or good intelligence. All that means some kind, or you have a good money and a luxuries to enjoy, good clothes, food and etc. So the objects of enjoyment, body to enjoy, and also healthy body, social, economic and all these things. So punya is, it gives you certain advantages so that you can live in an atmosphere in that ecosystem and you have a good body and etc. Papa. But nobody is that way, totally punyatma, totally papatma. We are all mixed. Only the degree of mixing changes, person to person varies. In certain area you have a punya, in certain area I don't have in that area, I have a punya in another area. See, each one has a punya in certain area. Somebody may not have that area, somebody may have a punya in another area. So physical, social, economic, and then what you call intellectual and emotional. 5 levels. In 5 levels, punya papa fluctuates to person, different combinations. So this is what it. Now, is there anything blind belief? Oh, religion is blind belief. All punya papa, we don't believe. What is blind belief? Will tell me. In fact, it is explaining many things better. You say God created alone. Why people are different? No, it is God's wish, according to them. Now, is it more convincing? They say religion. Now, first they take that religion, learn those concepts, and borrow that blind belief and bring here all religions are blind. They are all believers or dogma. In fact, religion is responsible for all quarrels, all hatred, all. Did we have? Now, just now I have explained it. Does it create any quarrel?
No.
If you don't believe what I explained now, punya papa, doesn't matter. If you don't believe, there is nothing. There is no imposition. There is no bigotry created on that. But I have explained it. It is looking convincing. Still, if you feel I don't accept it, doesn't matter. Where is the question of imposition? Where is the question of threatening, frightening and killing you and all that in persecution and all that? It is such a sane and responsible and logical and good religion. Still they say, oh, all religion like. No, who is that? This is all borrowed hatred of. First thing is your understanding of religion is borrowed from them, imposed on us, isn't it? All that this thing. So you all borrowed your fanaticism, borrowed your foolishness, borrowed your illogical thinking, borrowed your hatred, borrowed your guilt, everything borrowed from them. And you say we are educated. Is this education?
No.
My God. When will we learn our education? These ideas should be written in the form of books and put them into our schools. If you find anything wrong, you tell us, we will correct them. See what we decided. Terrible fellows. Oh, religion should not be there. India is a secular. The idea of secularism is brought only to ban Hinduism, study in the public life, practicing Hinduism in public life, studying in education system, in media, everywhere. It should not be openly done. It should be private in the name of gradually disappearing now. Receding it is. Only Christianity, minority protection in the name of it is coming more and more. We are only God-fearing, etc. Words have come. We have been doing more and more. Who is the founder, Jesus, etc. They started telling Jesus in schools about Jesus and Prophet Muhammad, his contribution to the world and all that. Now it is coming now. The minority means any blind belief should not be questioned. Secularism is brought to prevent questioning of all blindness, illogical, cruelty and all that thing. And secularism is also here to cover up, to prevent studying of the sane religion, logical religion of Hinduism. This is secularism. This means who conceived this secularism and who brought this secularism? Themselves fellows are brainwashed fools like that. They have studied in the European education system. Their understanding is only that. And such fellows conceived this secularism and put upon us. And when will we recover? This is my question. Proceed.
Swamiji, if you translate it as Papa and Punya as good deed and bad deed, is that?
No, good deed is a dharma aguttade. Dharma is a deed. Good karma, bad karma. Good karma, dharma is only a principle. But when dharma is lived, it is called a dharmika karma, dharmic action. Dharma is a principle. Dharmika action you do it, adharmika action you do it. So that action is also can be called dharma. And the result of dharma is called punya papa. Sometimes we call punya papa is also dharma, rarely. But dharma is a principle, an understanding. When you live it, applied it, it is called a karma. Karma means a good karma, dharmika karma. When you get a result, it is called punya. When the dharma is violated, it is called adharmika. When it is applied, it is called adharmika karma. The result is papa. Then what is that papa? Papa comes in the form of, I told you, physical, mental, intellectual, social, economic. Or even nature also. In nature, 6. In the 6 circles which you live in, 6 areas, some kind of disadvantage comes to you. Punya comes some kind of advantage to you. That means whatever you get, the atmosphere, the ecosystem you live, why one fellow works hard, he gets little money, one fellow works little and he gets more money. That means what you get is governed by another law, that is your previous karma. Now you see how this explains well. So it gives a certain advantage, certain disadvantage, certain suitability, certain unsuitability in 6 areas. Then punya papa, there is no person permanently punyatma, permanently papatma. Even great people are mixed people. Sarvepi punya papa mixed. In mixing alone, the degree varies. The combination varies from person to person. So somebody is poor man, but he has got a good social support. He has got very good friends. Even in difficulty, come and help you. Time to time, they will spend money. He cannot have permanent property. But when he has got good friends. One fellow has got lot of money, but has got all bad friends. They will take away his money and use it and never return. That means he has got a punya in economic area, but papa in social area. See, this is what I am telling. Punya papa is only, this creates advantage, disadvantage in your various areas. So, you got the idea of punya papa. Purpose is to explain the idea, not to go into details, because we should not deviate from the Sanskrit Vyakaranam.
Using punya and papa itself is better.
Is better. Okay.
If to translate result of good deed, result of bad deed.
Correct.
Smarasi mitrani. You remember the friends.
Correct. You remember your friends.
Your friends.
Mitrani bahuvachana. Smarasi. Correct. Next. Budho.
Budho mokshamichati.
Ichhati.
Ichhati. Budhaha moksham ichhati.
Correct.
Wise man desires liberation.
Correct. A wise man desires liberation. He uses absolution. That's old English. Nobody understands what is absolution. Okay. Vyadhayo.
Vyadhayo naran pidayanti. Diseases give pain to men.
Afflict is enough. Diseases afflict people. Naran means not only. Nara is a word. Generally it means men, but it means people in general. Human beings in general. Nara need not mean men alone. It can be human beings also in general sense. So diseases afflict people or human beings. Or men, literally you can take men. Okay.
Jalam pibatha.
Jalam pibatha.
You many drink water.
You drink water. No, you are drinking water. You drink water or you are drinking. It's not ordering.
Oh, okay.
It's not ordering. You drink water is not. Ordering is a potential mood, imperative mood,
okay.
That will come later. It is a present tense.
Okay.
That means you drink. You all drink water. You drink is not an order. It's not an injunction. You drink means you are drinking. You drink, you are drinking. Okay, Kavir Budhau Shamsati.
Kavir Budhau Shamsati.
I think have you completed all the Sanskrit? All Sanskrit. English also. I think we won't be able to do. Time is not enough. We got deviated into Papa and discussion, all that. So time is up. Anyway, few sentences we will do. Few more sentences and stop it. Okay.
The poet praises two wise men.
A poet. Here, da means a particular aguttade. Da means a particular. We have not referred poet before. It's the first time. Therefore, a poet. See, whom you have referred before and now you are referring again. Then you say the poet. That means the one.
The same.
The one are the same. Here it is just a poet. A poet.
A poet praises two wise men.
Two wise men. Correct.
Putro janakaha. Putro janakaha.
Both, you read the book properly, both are making mistakes.
Putro janakam santvayati.
But janakaha eke helodu? Putravu alla, putro.
Putro janakam santvayati. Putraha janakam santvayati.
Okay.
The son consoles his father.
Consoles, what is it?
He translated as appeases.
Appeasing, consoling is also okay. Okay.
Pustakam.
Consoles means in a way pleasing. Appeasing means by pleasing, in a way pleasing, but slightly different kind of pleasing. Therefore, it is santvayati.
Pustakam margayami. I seek a book.
I seek or I search for. Seek a book is okay. Or if you use the search for is required. I search for a book. I seek a book or search for a book. Okay.
Suvarnam tolayamaha. We weigh the gold.
We weigh gold. Okay. Okay.
Gramanatavaha. We too wander the
First padacheda.
Graman atavaha.
Correct.
We too wander the villages.
Wander about. Wander is always about. We wander about the villages.
About the villages.
Okay.
Thale bhakshayami. I eat two fruits.
Correct.
Kamalani pashyati. He sees the lotuses. Bharam vahati kinkaraha. Servant bears the burden or weight.
Wait. See here. Bears means carries. Carries on his head. Here, as I told you, you watch. The subject, verb, object. In English you can see, first subject is there, then verb, then the object. Subject, verb and object. See, Rama sees a plant or a tree. But in Indian languages, subject, object, verb. Anyway, Nanu Maravannu noduttene. First object comes, and this. But in English order is it. But in Sanskrit, generally we take Indian order, but still the words are jumbled, as I told you. Now you see, Kinkaraha is Bharam Vahati Kinkaraha. Kinkara comes last. So Bhandarkar, right from the beginning, he familiarizes that sentence structure of Sanskrit. The words are, sometimes you start with verb alone. Sometimes the subject comes at the end of it. It's all jumbled. That is the style of Sanskrit. That's how we do it. So he familiarizes with this to the student right from beginning only. It's very good. Okay. Kinkaraha bharam vahati means the servant carries the load. Servants carries the load.
The load or bears the vehicle.
Load is better. Okay. Bhara means what did we say? Bhara border. And then so border load is better. Okay.
Prajan.
Praja ಏನು ಪ್ರಜಾ ಪದ ಕಲ್ತಿದ್ದೀವ ದೆನ್ ವೈ ಪ್ರಜಾನ್ ಪ್ರಾಜ್ಞಾ ಅಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರಜ್ಞಾನ್ pra is also no dirgha is not there. Did you write dirgha?
No, Swamiji.
Why write something and pronounce something else? Prajnan
Varnayanti Janaha.
Correct.
People describes wise men.
People describes alla. People describe
wise men.
Correct.
Vastre tyajati murkaha. A fool abandons two clothes.
Fool throws. Yeah, it's not the meaning, but I asked it. I think 10 minutes over. Shall we stop? Because there is some Sandhi rule is coming here. Yanadesha Sandhi, I have to tell that. Okay. Or shall I tell? Yana is ik, I am telling you. Ik. Ik followed by ach. Right. When ik followed by ach will be replaced by yan. Ik, when ik followed by ach is replaced by yan, means ik is replaced by yan. Ik means what? E, wo, ro, lo. Followed by any ach. Is replaced by ya. O is replaced by va. Ro is replaced by ra. This is by la. Okay. Ati plus anta atyanta. Atyanta. So here the ya. E becomes ya. I think the examples I'll find out here. More examples. Dashamala. Hare. Is it a third chapter? Okay. In third chapter, Gramat Brahmanaha. Varibhyam Jnana Akasha Udyana Ashwapati Senapati. No, it is not. Where did I use it? Varine Namaha. ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಯ್ತಪ್ಪ ಇಲ್ಲಿಲ್ಲವೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ನನಗೆ ಇಮ್ಮಿಡಿಯೇಟ್ಲಿ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ಸ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಸಮಟೈಮ್ಸ್ ಸಡನ್ಲಿ ಹೆಚ್ಚೆಚ್ಚು ಬರ್ತವೆ ಸಮಟೈಮ್ಸ್ ಯು ಫರ್ಗೆಟ್ ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ವಿ ನೋಟ್ ಡೌನ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೆನ್ ಡೂ ಇಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿದೆ ವೈ ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಚತುರ್ಥಿ ವಿಭಕ್ತಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಗಾನ್ ಟು ತೃತೀಯ ವಿಭಕ್ತಿ ಇಸ್ ಇಟ್ ತೃತೀಯ ನೋ ದ್ವಿತೀಯ ಓನ್ಲಿ What is this? I have not covered Yana Desha Sandhi. No. Or we have already studied? Has it come before?
No, Swamiji. No.
This is coming first time. I think I have not covered at all. In my book I have not covered. Ayyo, I have to see that. Anyway, I'll tell you. Here I'll tell you later. Tomorrow I will tell them. I'll look for more udaharanas. I think how did I miss it? Sandhi I have not told at all. Ramashvam arohati. Yanadesha sandhi should be taught. Okay, I'll see and tell you, because I have noted down in another book. Everything is searching again. A lot of time goes in searching only. Okay, so E changes to Ya here. If you remember that Trunanyatyashvaha, both sandhis are same. E changing to Ya. Trunani atti trunanyatti. E changes to Ya. Atti ashvaha atyashvaha. Trunani atti ashvaha, 3 words. In first 2 words and 2 and 3rd word. Joining is E changes to Ya. The same context applies here. E followed by Ach, E changes to Ya. And other things, examples I'll tell you.
Ati plus uttama achyuttama.
Ati plus uttama achyuttama, correct. Ati plus uttama achyuttama, correct. Anu plus adeshaha, anvadeshaha. Anu udaha, va, anu becomes va, anvadeshaha, like that.
Okay.
Pitru plus ಏನದು ಪಿತ್ರಂಶಃ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. This I'll find more examples and tell you. Okay, today we'll stop it and tomorrow we'll check remaining. Om Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah. Hari Om Tat Sat.